Part two to that video. Sorry, I have to do this in two parts. Here's the deal with what I was just talking about. Where the girl, the wife, she has her finger on the trigger and she's pointing the weapon, waving it at people who were on her property, and they shouldn't have been on her property, so they were trespassing. And she does have the right legally to take a stand and say, get off my property. There were no police there. So she shouldn't have to, her or her husband, shouldn't have to wait for the police to arrive. So for instance, that was a big group of people that had trespassed onto her property and trespassed into that gated community to peacefully protest at the mayor's house. It was a large group. I don't know how many, but it was a big group. At least 30 or 40 people. Now these two homeowners, this couple, this married couple, registered as Democrats, firearms, legal firearms owners, just husband and wife at home minding their business, but they're Democrats. So again, I repeat, you do not have to be a Trump supporter to be a firearms owner. You could be an independent, you can be a Democrat, you're just a free American, and you can go to the store, purchase a firearm for your protection and that of your family, to protect your family, protect yourself. It's not against the law. So everybody sees guns, they automatically think that person supports Trump because they own a firearm. Not true. Many Democrats own firearms. Many Republicans, it doesn't matter. This whole, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Has nothing to do with your rights. Democrats and Republicans, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, we all have the same rights. And I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I don't identify myself by a political party. I'm an American. I'm a citizen. I'm a human being. I identify myself as a Christian. I don't have the title of Republican or Democrat. That's one of the biggest issues with this our nation, is that you're either this or this. And if you're this, then this side hates you and you hate that side. It's just like the Civil War. Has it ever ended? Back to the weapons safety stuff. I don't want to get detracted with a political viewpoint. Whole point of that is anybody who's a legal citizen who does not have a felony can own a firearm. You can go, and if you have to be 18 and over to own a rifle, 21 and over to own a pistol. The point being with that is you need to have the proper training. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. You better be trained. So again, my point on that is the woman and the husband were well within their rights to be firearms owners. They were homeowners. They were successfully defending their property. They didn't shoot anybody. They didn't fire weapons in the air. They didn't threaten to shoot anybody. They didn't say they're going to shoot anybody. But the main point is, even though her intent and his intent was not to do bodily harm to anybody, they didn't have that in their heart because they were at home minding their business, and all of a sudden there's people on their property, so they didn't get the memo. They didn't know that there was going to be a peaceful protest. They just heard a ruckus. He got his weapons and said, honey, let's go outside and get these people off our property. She's doing all the talking in this video, if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you check it out. Look on YouTube, it's everywhere. So she has a pistol, a small little silver, it looks like a Walther or something. She's got her finger on the trigger and she's waving it and pointing at people. Get off my property, right? She was doing legally the right thing, but now if they were to be taken to court, they shouldn't be because they didn't do anything wrong. The argument would probably be from the other side, she was going to kill me. I felt scared. Why? Because she was pointing her gun at people. Even though she was just saying, get off my property, she's pointing a loaded, presumably loaded gun. Her finger was on the trigger. So now the argument, I would think that the opposite argument would be, she had the intent to shoot me because her finger was on the trigger. Do you guys see what I'm going at here? Even though she probably did not want to hurt anybody, she just was saying, get off my land, get out of my house. You guys are bothering me. I don't want anything to do with your peaceful protest. Get off my property. So I have a gun, leave me alone. It's just me and my husband, we're scared. There's two of us. There's about 30 of you or more. You guys have sticks for protesting, for peaceful protesting, which they can use as a weapon. She's scared for her safety. Understandable. Police might take 20 minutes to get there. A lot can happen in 20 minutes. They could be dead in 20 minutes. They could be dead in 2 minutes. So they have a gun. It's okay. But her problem, her biggest problem, and her husband's too, but mostly hers, was the way she was handling her weapon. She was, in my opinion, my professional opinion and personal opinion, she was mishandling that weapon. And that's what we're going to talk about. So this would be for her or any other couple or any other person who's a legal firearms owner, and you possess a firearm to defend your life and that of your family, and you're a homeowner, or you dwell in an apartment, or you have an RV, and you are a citizen and you have a firearm and you want to use it properly to defend your life, hopefully never to fire it at anybody. But here's how to handle it. This is weapons handling, okay? Safe weapons handling. So we're going to cover that right now. So number one, I'm going to bring the camera over here so you guys can get a better visual. I put this to start off the class. If we cannot train safely, then we cannot train. Okay, now I'm going to go over those 4 safety rules. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded at all times, unless it's disassembled. If the weapon is completely taken apart, it's just components. At that point, it's no longer considered a weapon. It's just the components of a weapon. Never point a weapon at anything or anyone until you are ready to fire. So I'm going to read that one again. Never point a weapon at anything or anyone until or unless you intend to fire, destroy it, shoot it, harm it. If it's a target, you intend to destroy it like a piece of paper or shoot at a beer can, destroy it. If it's a person or a dog, like imagine a wolf attacking you or your wife. You're going to point your weapon at that wolf. You have the intent to kill it because it's going to attack you or your wife or your kid or your dog. Maybe you're out in the woods and there's a mountain lion and it's going to attack your dog. You have a gun. What are you going to do? You're going to shoot the mountain lion. You're going to point your weapon at the mountain lion with the intent to destroy it or kill it. So that's why I say never point a weapon at anything or anyone until you intend to shoot it or destroy it, kill it. So never. I don't think her intent was to kill anybody, but she pointed a weapon at it. So never point. She was pointing. Never point a weapon at anything or anyone, what she was doing, unless or until. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire. What was she doing? She had her finger on the gun like this, on the trigger. Keep your finger straight. It wasn't straight, hers was like this, on the trigger. Straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire. I always repeat these. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire. So she violated 2 huge safety rules right there, which is never point a weapon at anything or anyone unless you are ready to destroy them or kill that target or kill whoever or the animal. Or if you're getting attacked by 3 people with a gun or a knife or a stick and you point a weapon at them, you're probably intending to shoot them for your safety. Fair enough. But never point it at them unless it's your intent to kill them. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger. She violated both of those. Treat every weapon as if it's loaded at all times. I'm going to presume that weapon was loaded. So are those people that she pointed it at. They're going to think that's a loaded weapon. She should also think this gun is loaded. Even if it's not, act like it is. Finally, keep muzzle awareness, which she didn't do. Know your backstop at all times. Now I'm going to put the camera down and give you guys a quick demo of what I'm talking about backstops and muzzle awareness, okay? Okay, there we go. So, take this off. It's getting hot. Hey, Grantham, I don't know how you wear that flannel. Flannel's warm, brother. So the last part of this video, I'm going to cover muzzle awareness, backstops. What a backstop is basically this. When you fire your weapon, the bullet is going to go out of the barrel and travel. It's going to keep traveling until it loses energy or until it stops because it hits something, like a backstop. A backstop is usually a hardened area like a bunch of sandbags or a berm, a big area of earth, which we used to use in the Marine Corps called a berm, where the bullet will impact that area of earth called a berm, and that berm, that big piece of earth, will stop the bullet. So if you're shooting at paper targets, what's behind that paper target, the berm, in this case I'm talking about a berm, that's your backstop. So I shot the target, right? I'm putting holes in this paper. I'm trying to get tight groups. I'm trying to hit the bullseye. That's a piece of paper. That's my bullseye. What's behind that paper? What's behind that bullseye? The berm, the earth, the sandbags. And I'm confident that that bullet, once it hits that paper and goes through, it's going to stop once it hits that berm or that piece of earth or those sandbags or a bunch of pieces of rubber. A lot of people use different things to create a backstop, which is a safe way to trap that energy of the bullet so that it doesn't just keep on traveling and hit somebody that you don't want to hit. What if there's a child 100 yards away playing in the field and you fire a gun? You don't know what's over there and it hits that child. You didn't intend to hit that child. You don't have any murder in your heart, but you're irresponsible by the way you handled the weapon, and your irresponsibility is now your liability because you just took a life unintentionally because you don't know the rules, the safety rules, muzzle awareness and backstop awareness, okay, at all times. So if you're in a training environment, you're going to be surrounded by a berm or some kind of a direction, like, hey, only shoot this direction because over there's the backstop. Don't shoot left because there's people there. Don't shoot right because there's a house there. Just shoot this way because there's dirt, there's a berm, there's a safety catch, there's a backstop on that side. Here's your target, here's the backstop. She didn't have awareness of her muzzle because she was doing this. She had her finger on the trigger, safety violation. She didn't have her finger straighten off the trigger, okay? She was pointing it at people, safety violation number 2. She didn't have a muzzle awareness. Where's that muzzle pointing at? What if she was to accidentally shoot the gun, like by accident, because she's got her finger on the trigger and she just jerks because she got scared by the peaceful protest. Pow, she fires a gun. And she doesn't hit any of those protesters. But it goes to the window of her neighbor's house and pierces the window, the glass, and kills her 80-year-old sweet little grandmother, or their granddaughter, or the dog, the family dog, or a child in that house, because she was pointing it at people. She was pointing it. She wasn't aware of the muzzle. Which way is the muzzle going? The muzzle is the tip where the bullet comes out of. That's the muzzle. She didn't have muzzle awareness, and she did not know her backstop. Where's this bullet going to end up? She did not understand those basic safety rules. I think her and her husband need to take safety classes. I'm not saying they shouldn't be gun owners. No, I'm not. I'm saying they need to get training because what they did was right. They defended their home. They just didn't do it safely. They were irresponsible, both of them. He was carrying the weapon. He was carrying the weapon like this. He had an M16. He was carrying the weapon like this. What was he doing? He was violating the safety rules by pointing his weapon at people. Most of the time you'll see weapons pointed downward like this, at people's feet or at the ground. That's cool. This weapon is empty. See that? Unloaded. There's no people over there. And there's a backstop. I got backstop right there. I'm not pointing the weapon at anybody. This weapon should either be pointed up or down, or leave it where it be. Leave it be. Your pistol, same thing. You know, there's a lot of safety salads out there. So